Hi everyone, Aiden here with etrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the CURT Premium on our 2022 Ford Maverick. This is going to be a hanging style bike rack that can carry up to 4 bikes, and the bike's going to hang by the frame. Now that is going to mean we want to avoid carbon frame bikes because that can damage the frame, and with alternative frame bikes we probably want to pick up a bike adapter bar to make sure it hangs level. Otherwise though, it's going to work well for a wide variety of bikes. The biggest being kids' bikes because the arms actually narrow together at the end of the rack, so it's more accommodating for those small frames. Now depending on how small, you might still need a bike adapter bar to make it fit, but these are going to be a lot better than most other hanging style racks that don't have this feature. The other thing to keep in mind is the weight capacity. It can hold up to 180 pounds total across all 4 bikes, so it can hold a little bit more than some other hanging style racks of this size. The 3 points of contact are going to be 2 up top and then 1 on the seat post to limit our side-to-side movement, helping with bike-to-vehicle contact or bike-to-bike contact. Getting the bike removed is pretty easy. You just have to undo those straps that hold it down in the cradles, and then you can just lift it off of the arms. With the height of the arms, it is a little bit awkward for that innermost cradle, but not too bad overall. Once you get it out a little bit further, it's a lot easier to get removed. Now I'll set this bike to the side and we can check out the tilting feature of the rack. You can't do this with bikes loaded just because there isn't clearance with the bikes on there. But if we come down the rack, there's going to be a couple things at the back. A hand knob that will loosen up, a pin and clip through the middle, and then a pull pin at the top that we can release and then set down. Now typically this would be for hatch clearance on a passenger vehicle or tailgate clearance on a truck, but unfortunately with the Maverick today, it doesn't have enough clearance. So you will have to do without having the tailgate access, but tilting it away can still give you a little bit more room to get up into the bed or get something out of it if you do need to. Lifting it back up, just reinstall all the things we removed in the reverse order of how we removed them. With that pin and clip, and then tightening the hand knob last. And at this point, we want to get some measurements, starting with our distance added to the back of the vehicle. We'll go from the bumper to the outer edge of the rack. Right there. It's going to be coming in right at 35.5 inches, which for 4 bikes actually isn't too bad. But we can save some of that space by folding these arms down when it's not in use. There's a pin and retaining clip at the top that can release the arms, fold them down into this more compact state, re-secure it, and that cuts our distance down quite a bit, all the way to just 13 inches to the end point right here. So if you want to leave this in the hitch between rides, this makes it a lot more manageable to fit into a parking space or maybe even your garage at home. Moving on down the rack, we can check out the closest point to the bumper, which is going to be 5 3/4 of an inch. There's not a whole lot of movement in here, so I'm not worried about vehicle contact. And then it is fitting in our 2 inch by 2 inch receiver tube. The anti-rattle bolt that's included with it keeps things nice and solid in the hitch. There is a little bit of room or wiggle room at this pivot point where the mast actually tilts down, and just a little bit in the arms. Part of that is probably just from general wear and tear of it being in the shop, but over time you might notice a little bit more movement there. And then overall, I think it's a pretty solid bike rack. If you're looking for something that's going to be more accommodating for families with those kids' bikes, the CURT Premium is really nice because of those arms. You can get it in a 5-bike configuration too, that can hold up to 225 pounds, or maybe you can recommend checking out the Yakima Full Tilt. We tested that on here. It had clearance with the tailgate, which is really nice, and it has a 5-bike capacity. A little less weight capacity, but if you don't need all that weight, then I think that's a much nicer option and a better fit for the Maverick. Thanks for watching.
Here it is on our test course. We'll start by going through the slalom. This is going to show us the side-to-side action, which simulates turning corners or evasive maneuvers. Next, we're at the alternating speed bumps, which we'll see the twisting action. This will simulate hitting a curb or pothole or driving over uneven pavement. Finally, we have the full speed bumps, where we'll see the up and down action, which is just like driving out of a parking lot, garage, or driveway.